This sucks. What have I done to deserve this? But I'm a good person. Life is so unfair. I've heard this so many times, and I've asked these questions myself. A negative internal dialogue is, next to the disease itself, the biggest fight I fight on a daily basis. Deliberately choosing how I think about things with the right mindset helps me to achieve my goals, overcome adversity, and helps me to live a life others think of as blessed. A terminal diagnosis robs you of all of your positivity if you don't actively engage with and shape your internal dialogue. If you don't watch out, anxiety, grief, frustration, and depression all creep in very quickly. I'm Jacques, and at One More Marble, I would like you to help you to discover ways to live an exceptional, passionate, and purposeful life with a terminal illness, whether you are a patient, a caregiver, a family member, or a friend. If you are new here, make sure to click the like button and subscribe. So stick with me as I will be sharing with you how I approach developing and keeping a positive mindset, but allow me to set the scene first. All of the great minds and larger-than-life characters we admire have faced adversity and have had tough times, and yet they overcame it all. Mother Teresa apparently fought a great many spiritual battles within herself. Mandela spent 27 years in prison for his beliefs, and Gandhi put himself in very dangerous situations for what he believed in. All of them faced extreme challenges, but instead of being defeatist, their mindsets were strengthened by the hardships they faced. There are also countless stories of ordinary people like you and me who have, through sheer will and determination, overcame great challenges purely by actively and deliberately developing a positive mindset. Nothing makes me better than any of these people, so why should I dare to think that I should be spared adversity? So what have I done to develop and grow a mindset that attempts to overcome the negative and strives for the positive? I would like to share with you 5 things I do to help grow the mindset that helps me face the difficult times I face now and those I know lie ahead. Step 1. Realize that you are not in control of everything. Going public with my disease and my journey was probably one of the most uncharacteristic things I have ever done. I'm a recovering control freak, and I always want to be in control of what happens around me. However, at the end of this disease, you end up in a place where other people take care of you. Your pride is gone, as others will do the most intimate of tasks for you, such as helping you with your toilet routine. Thus, I had to bring myself to actively face discomfort and deliberately put myself in situations in which I have no control over what the outcomes could be. I have no control over who sees this video or where it goes in the universe. I have no control over how it could affect my relationships or the way people see me. I have no control over how it could affect my employment or how my colleagues treat me. But I am doing this to put myself in a place to face discomfort and not being in control. And you know what? I'm actually excited to see how this will end up. I'm excited about what I will discover on this journey. And I'm excited to see what new relationships will cross my path. Negative circumstances, challenges, and adversity are part of our human experience. No matter what you do, sometimes you cannot prevent bad things from happening to you. When you start to give up some control, I feel that you are reducing opportunities for anxiety, fear, anger, and depression to take hold. Step 2. Surround yourself with positivity. Get rid of negative people and situations. How do you do this? Well, I started by cleaning up. I looked at where I spent most of my time. I wrote down all of the places I spent part of my day and assessed whether it helps or hinders me to build a positive mindset. First on the list was Facebook. I unfriended negative people and I silenced the feeds of people who consistently post things that negatively impacted my frame of mind. Especially all of those people who just forward fake news articles to stir negative emotions or to substantiate their biases without checking whether what they are saying is true, necessary, or uplifting. I starred the positive people I engaged with to make sure they show up first in the feeds, and I now tend to stop scrolling when I reach the unstarred people. Secondly, I stopped engaging with people who only bring me down. I also stopped watching TV shows or movies with a negative theme, and I avoid soap opera type programs. Soapies is probably one of my biggest pet hates. I think that soapies kills your brain and teach you to deal with problems and conflict with drama and theatrics, rather than assessing situations as a rational adult would do. I also stopped reading newspapers and lifestyle magazines. I look at the headlines to be informed of what happens in the world, but I also try to find the same headline across multiple newspapers to make sure that I don't get a biased view. Lifestyle magazines, on the other hand, just make you feel inadequate, as they are based on the premise that you need something to make you better, attract love and affection, or admiration. These days, I fill my screen time with short clips of various comedians, and I watch uplifting comedy series, all to make me laugh. My advice is if you're after a positive mindset, to do this. First of all, take a major spring clean of your habits, but then make sure that you reflect frequently to check if any of the old habits have crept back in, or whether there are new negative influences that have to be addressed. Step 3. I reflect at the end of the day and I think about my interactions. But this time, when I replay these engagements, I try to reframe the memories and I try to see them in a different light. I try to see impactful moments, whether they are negative or positive, in an enchanted way, almost as if everything was designed in such a way that even the negative situations are purposefully put into my life to shape me or to add to my life. I always try to ask myself, what can I learn from my interactions? What can I learn about myself? What can I learn about the other person? What can I learn about my own biases and worldview? Step 4. Stop procrastinating. Do things. The time is now. You will never again live this moment. Make sure that you utilize every second of every day. Oh, don't get me wrong. There are entire weekends on which I lie on the couch and binge watch TV series, but I try not to do that too often. We need to live a life of discipline, but you should not beat yourself up too much. However, get up and just do things. There is a link in the description below of a book by another ALS patient, and her advice is just to show up. If you don't feel like exercising, just show up and do what you can. If you don't want to get up early to start your morning routine, just get up and out of bed and start. What you will find is that once you get going, you can actually get yourself to a point where you start to enjoy what you are doing. I also have a 2-day rule. If I don't want to do something today, then I have to do it the next day. This way, even if I have a week where my body really doesn't want to exercise, at least I get in a 4-day exercise week. Step 5. See yourself in a different way. Spend time to get to know yourself. There is a link to a previous video where I talk about living a life of passion and purpose. One of the steps I talked about is about getting to know yourself. There are questions you should ask yourself about who you really are and what you bring to the world. Once you know that, then you can really start to contribute to your own well-being, to the lives of your friends and family, and to society at large. Once you know who you are and what you stand for, you are also less prone to be tossed and tumbled around by negative circumstances, what people say and think about you, and what life throws at you. When I worked on my own process of living with purpose, I noted some positive characteristics, such as that I am good at solving problems, and that I like to learn new things. So when something negative crosses my path, I try not to give in to emotions anymore, but I try to see it as a problem that I need to solve, and by solving the problem, I will learn new things about myself or others, about how something works or how someone else's experience of the same situation is different from mine. By doing this, I stop seeing myself as a victim, but I see myself as Bob the Builder. And can he fix it? Yes, he can. I believe in the end, your mindset affects your well-being in so many ways, but it is the most difficult thing to work on. It affects your mental state. It affects your relationships. It affects how you show up in situations. I would rather spend time on my mindset than going to the gym if I have to choose. Don't neglect this just because it is hard to do. I hope this helped you and gave you an outline you can use to reframe your own mindset. Leave a comment below to tell me what you do and how you stay positive. And remember, never give up, stay positive, minimize stress, laugh a lot, love even more. Bye.